Diversity really makes sense. We know it makes sense.
True diversity is about more than just ticking a box.
The major benefit is a radical difference in the thinking.
We needed more females in here to bring more equality in, but different ideas, new innovation, creativity.
For us, it's about building an organisation that reflects the community we want to create.
SANFL, we've come from focusing on football, which has typically been a male game.
Golf has predominantly been a sport that men have played, and the balance of a club may be 80% male, 20% female.
I think when we first noticed that our organisation wasn't reflecting our membership was in a board meeting when we had just all males around the table.
I think some of the challenges for us in gender diversity have been that whilst the headline numbers look quite good, that we're an almost 50-50 participation-based sport between male and female. When you start to peel that away, there are areas in which we're not so strong. So for instance, our umpiring ranks are about 95% male and only 5% female. Our coaching ranks as well are probably only 20%. Female coaches coaching female teams when you get to the top end, our Premier League teams and our state teams. So for us as a sport, it's about recognising where we do have strengths, but also realising where we have opportunities in which to improve that diversity.
Look, I think for us it's been about the progression of women in surf lifesaving. Women were only allowed to get their bronze medallion about 35 years ago. And for us, since then, we're lucky enough that we've got a 50-50 split across our participation and membership. So now it's about progressing women through leadership roles. As we go through our clubs, we've got 20 clubs, but there's only 2 female presidents. So we really need some more female presidents there for some diversity. We also need more females on the club boards. A lot of them are still very male-centric.
Yeah, so we looked at our participation numbers around gender diversity at junior level, and that was 50% male, 50% female, pretty much close to it. And that in the senior categories, it was a lot more male dominated. So that's when we sort of realised that as an organisation, we need to do something about this. And the way that we started to address that was look at ourselves. What was the organisational sort of management team, and it was very male dominated, which basically we're not providing any kind of role models for the juniors once they become seniors that are female to want to aspire to take on those leadership roles.
Well, what we're seeing by SANFL really focusing on diversity is change at our clubs. I think of the example out at Central District Football Club where 12 months ago it wasn't really a discussion for the board, and now they've included a female onto their board, looking to include another female, and they're seeing growth in their team and participation because they're bringing a female team into their club. So we're seeing great outcomes from now discussing these activities at a leadership level.
Yeah, a new program that we've implemented at Surf Lifesaving SA is Surf Sisters, and that's very much around progressing women through leadership roles and giving them opportunities around capability, confidence and you know, actually putting their hands up and wanting to be part of that.
We set in place a new constitution back in 2014 that required not less than 1/3 of either gender to be on the board, and that was really a key way of us making sure that we didn't become too lopsided one way or the other in terms of either gender dominating, and making sure that we have a balanced view. And we just found that with that balance in the room, the board is performing much stronger.
We've only had a significant change in the board over the last 12 months or so. So we're still finding our way and developing that growth pattern. But certainly there's been a far more interest in things like women's golf, in things like our financial portfolios as a result of the diversity that we've brought through.
So the gap in our sport was in adult women, and to be able to try and address that, we needed, I guess, a sounding board as to what some of those reasons could be. And having women now involved with our board has been great in that avenue, is to just get a different perspective and a different way of thinking around some of the barriers to participation for women in sailing.
It makes sense for membership-based organisations for their leadership to represent the value base of their members, and there's no better way of doing that than making sure that the leadership group reflects the genders, the cultural values and identities of its members.
The vision for SANFL football and all of football is for it to reflect society. When we reflect society, we're open to all people being part of our game.
So economically, I think diversity can help our sport by making us more appealing to sponsors.
Gender diversity and participation of females has actually been a way of bringing extra money into the sport.
Oh, look, I think the economic benefits for us and around, when we're attracting sponsors, that they can talk to an even split across male and female, and I think that's important.
Golf being 80-20, 80% male, 20% female, there is a huge untapped potential for more membership of females, and we're working as hard as we can to redress that. I think it's an opportunity, and it's one that is sitting there waiting for us to do something for and with.
Well, the broader commercial reality of having diversity in football has been we've attracted more interest from sponsors that previously hadn't looked at football as being an opportunity for them. And at the same time, it's increased membership and supporter and game day opportunities for all of our clubs right the way through football.
My message to other sporting organisations is have a look around and see what's going on. Certainly talk to the organisations that are going down this track and see where you can comfortably fit.
I think in talking to other state sporting organisations, I would emphasise the fact that there's not just one answer, or there's not just one solution or one thing that you need to do to get gender diversity right.
For us as an organisation, it was really important that we actually stopped and take a step back and almost look at ourselves from a bird's eye view, just to see what the health of our organisation is or was regarding diversity. And I think that was really important to be able to do that.
There's no doubt from our perspective that diversity in our organisation makes sense, especially when we think about the interest shown in women's football.
Organisations always face the risk of being stagnant and becoming stagnant. Diversity is important because the people who bring that diversity to organisation are always questioning what you're doing.
The real benefits of diversity for me have been creative thinking and questioning of the past. So a lot of the comments we had, well, this is how we've always done it. So, and I'm a big believer that we've got to change that and maybe innovate and be creative in our thinking. So bringing more diversity in has challenged people that may not have wanted to be challenged in the past.